And I'm going to can up some dry beans and molasses sauce. I'm going to use navy beans, but you can use pinto beans and northern beans, all kinds of any dry beans, I guess. USDA website and wall recipes also using weights, and they say 3/4 of a pound per quart. I'm going to do 5 pints, so that's just under 2 pounds. And I'm going to measure them because later on it says 3 cups of water for every cup of beans. Well, that's 4 cups, and it's 1 pound, just about 11 ounces. So I need another 6 to 7 ounces. That's a little too many, and I can fill the yards at least. Okay, let's get these rinsed. So this is 5 cups of beans, a little over 2 pounds. Should be just about right for the 5 pints that I'm going to can. Give them another rinse and strainer here too. This is 5 cups of beans, so I need 15 cups of water to soak them in. And I found it best to soak them in distilled water because it makes for a softer shell. And I've always just put them in the distilled water and put them in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours. But this time I'm going to try it their way, boil them for 2 minutes, and then just let them soak for an hour and see how that works out. $15. Now I just got to bring it to a boil. So it's boiling. I'm going to let it boil for 2 minutes, and then I'll remove it from the heat and let it soak for an hour. So they've been soaking for an hour, so now I'll drain them, put them back in the pot, and add more water. So the recipe doesn't say how much water to add the second time. It just says add water and bring it to a boil. So I make sure I got it well covered, and I use tap water this time because we're not going for the soaking stage, so it should be okay. In the meantime, I'll get my jars heated up. Okay, I got it to a boil, so now I gotta drain them. And I'm gonna keep 4 cups of that water for the sauce. Okay, I got 4 cups of water from boiling the beans, 3 tablespoons of molasses, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, pickling salt, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of powdered dry mustard. And I'll heat that to a boil. Need to fill the jars 3/4 full with beans. Yep, those are 3/4 full. I got way too many beans here. Probably do that in the back. Now I add molasses sauce, 1 inch of headspace. I didn't quite have enough sauce to give myself an inch of headspace, so what I ended up doing is a even amount of sauce in each jar and just a little bit of hot water to top it off. Headspace is more important than how much sauce we have, and the flavor of the sauce. Let's get these out of the way. Oh, okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm wiping these rims off, make sure they're good and clean. Put on a new lid and screw it down finger tight and into the can. Okay, my carry canner calls for 8 cups of water, but go by whatever your canner instructions are. And hot water, of course. I always add a little bit of vinegar in the water just to keep the jars from getting cloudy. Keep the vent open, plug it in. These are pints, so I'm going to be pressure canning for 65 minutes. If they're quarts, it'd be 75 minutes. So with this thing, what I do is I press high, and I set my time for pressure canning. Whoops, too far. 65 minutes. Make sure the vent's open. Press start. What it's going to do, it's going to start exhausting. Once it gets up to temperature, it exhausts itself for 10 minutes and it'll beep at me. After that, I can close the vent. Alright, it started its countdown. That E10 means there's 10 minutes of exhaust left. Exhaust is done, so now I close the vent. And then the pressure back up. And pressure can for 65 minutes and shut itself off. Turned itself off, so now I gotta wait for it to depressurize on its own before I can pull the jars. Okay, this depressurized now, so I can carefully open the lid. And we'll let them sit for 10 minutes before I take them out of the canner. Alright, now I can pull the jars. And the recipe I'm going to give you, I'm going to triple how much sauce to make, because for the 7 quarts or 9 pints, that 4 cups of water is not even close to enough. Now you can see why I said earlier that you don't want to go over that 3 quarters full, because look how much these beans soaked up the sauce. That's why I said I made that mistake one other time, and it just wasn't good. In the description, you'll find a link to the recipe that you can either download or print out. Okay, now that I've had a chance to try these, I will say that boiling them for 2 minutes and then letting them soak for an hour worked. I think it's because of the pressure canning. I don't think I'd want to do it that way if I was just going to do baked beans. Anyway, you notice how there's no juice left at all. These things soaked up all the beans. I mean, all the juice. So, I don't know, maybe a little less than 3 quarters of full for the beans, just so you have some juice left. And the other thing is, I think I prefer beans and tomato sauce over these beans and molasses. That's a personal preference, of course. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel. Until next time, goodbye.